I have a question that might annoy you. If you hired an employee and you told them, hey, I need you to work 7 days a week, you don't get lunch breaks, you don't get sick days, I need you to answer emails at 11 p.m., and I need you to do the CEO's job and the intern's job all at the same time. How long do you think that employee would stay? A week? They would quit so fast. And like they say, everywhere go first, blow. In fact, they might actually sue you. But that is exactly how you treat yourself as a business owner. You are the worst boss you have ever had. And because you're such a terrible boss, your star employee, which is you, is burned out, inefficient, and making mistakes. Today, we're going to fire that toxic boss version of you, and we're going to build a 4-day work week that actually works. Welcome back to Coffee with Mo. I'm Mo, your business analyst friend who loves boring systems because they save you from burnouts. These days, we wear exhaustion like a badge of honor. We tell our friends, oh man, I was up until 3 a.m. grinding, I pulled an all-nighter, and so on. We think that means we're working hard. But as a business analyst, when I see a founder working 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, I don't see hustle. I just see a broken process. I see a system that is so inefficient, it requires human suffering just to keep the lights on. So why are you working so much? It's usually a combination of two things, yeah? Low value work and context switching. Stay with me. First, let's talk about the work. You're filling your day with $10 per hour task, answering comments, packing boxes, tweaking your website font. You feel productive because you've checked out, all the boxes, the tasks have been marked, you've completed everything you wrote down in your to-do list, but you're just busy. The second one is you are doing this task while trying to do $1,000 per hour task, which include things like strategy, creation, and growth. And here is where science comes in, right? Guys, your brain cannot multitask. Every time you switch from being the strategic founder, you switch from that strategic founder mode to admin mode, it's like stopping your design work to, answer an email. You pay something called a switching tax. It takes your brain, listen, I'm going to say this. It takes your brain 23 minutes to refocus on a task. So if you interrupt yourself every 15 minutes to do a $10 task, you are effectively working with a broken brain. You're doing 8 hours of work, but it is taking you 14 hours to do it. And I can bet you we've all been there. When you would pull out your laptop, you sit down and you were typing, you're trying to get into the zone, we call it the zone, you're getting in there, you're trying to get things done. And when you finally complete the task, you just realize and you speak to yourself and tell yourself, hey, on a good day, this task would have taken me maybe less than 30 minutes to complete, but it took me 4 hours? But what we do not do is we do not sit down to ask ourselves why, and then the next question, how do we fix this? So I'm going to share something with you today. The way we're going to fix this for you is we stop treating your business like it's an emergency room where you react to everything, and we start treating it like a factory. A factory has processes, right? A factory has steps. They have procedures, standard operating procedures for doing things. While an emergency room is really which one is the most urgent one. That is what I attend to at this point. But urgent doesn't usually translate to important, and sometimes it just leads to chaos. So what we're going to do is we're going to move to a theme day schedule. This is how you can get your Friday back. you don't work less. You're definitely not going to be working less. What you're going to be doing is you would be working way smarter by batching the energy. So stay with me. Let's do this. Imagine the Monday is CEO day. This is for that $1,000 per hour work that you need to do. Marketing strategy, content planning, partnerships. You do not sit down and pack orders. You do not answer support tickets. You actually spend time thinking and leading the company. Tuesday and Wednesday are for deep work days. You are a machine on those days. If you are a designer, you design. If you are a developer, you write code. You do not look at your inbox. You just stay in the zone and do what is important for those 2 days. Thursday is admin day, where you work for the $10 per hour task. Invoices, emails, shipping, support tickets. You tackle the boring stuff all at once. Friday, you can get off. So, guys, I want you to take a look at the 4 days that I have shared with you, right? You've seen that we have essentially broken down the core task that you need to do into 4 days. The first one is for strategy and thinking, prioritizing the business and where it's headed to. Tuesday and Wednesday are actual work days. And then Thursday is the admin day. You may decide to use your Friday for something else, or you may decide to still do work on Friday, but it would not be because you were not able to get things done on the previous days. It would be because, you've actually completed what needed to be, the core things that needed to happen during the week, and it's more of a laid-back day for you, no longer an emergency where you end the week feeling like you have not gotten anything done. I know what you're thinking. Most of you would say, I cannot take Friday off, I'll lose money. But the truth is, you cannot scale a business if you, as the founder, you are the bottleneck. And here is where I'll tell you to go back to our previous episodes. And if you haven't listened to it, listen to the Business Bottleneck series. It would really help you. Now, if you're grinding 24/7, you are operating out of fear. I'm sorry to tell you that. You are afraid that if you stop spinning the plates, they will all fall. But you aren't a plate spinner. That's not what you are. You are the architect. You are the one that draws the blueprint for the business. So if you're always in that chaos of operating the business without having appropriate time to think and strategize for your business, the plates will fall regardless at some point. So when you take Friday off, you aren't skipping work. You're just maintaining that asset. You're pouring back into what the architect needs to keep going. So if you had a $50,000 delivery van, you would definitely change the oil. You wouldn't drive it 100 miles per hour until the wheels fell off. You are the van. If you break, the business is worth zero. And guys, I would tell you as a founder that I have been there as well, where you have run the business so much in the day-to-day operations and you're burnt out, you're tired, and you end up in the hospital, or you end up not even being able to do anything. And better believe the business will still have to go on. But if you take the time out to take care of yourself, you ensure that the times where you actually break down are limited, if not even zero, So take care of yourself. The 4-day work week isn't about being lazy. It's about being professional enough to know that you need to be at 100% to run your company. Your business needs a CEO who is rested, sharp, and strategic. Let me say that again. Your business needs a leader who is rested, sharp, and strategic. It does not need a tired, grumpy employee who answers emails at midnight because they have no boundaries. Stop trying to be the hardest worker in the room. Be the smartest architect in the room. Now, your homework this week is simple. Look at your to-do list. Identify all the admin stuff the emails, the invoicing, the cleaning, whatever it is, I'm sure you can identify the low reward, high effort, low reward tasks that are on your list. Move all of it to Thursday or any day you feel is convenient for you. See if you can survive the first 3 days of the week just doing real work. I bet you can. So guys, I have linked a perfect week planner in the show notes to help you map this out. Go ahead and make a copy of it. Give yourself a promotion, and I'll see you next week. Bye.